Hey, good afternoon, morning, everyone. Welcome back to Okada Research Channel. Just let me check the sound is working. Yes, it is. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Caroline. And anybody who was wondering if I got killed in riots in France? No, riots in France is kind of a recurrent, usual things. Don't worry, they're not targeting individuals and private people. They're targeting the state, the police. So it's like every 15 years we've got this, so nothing to worry about too much. It'll come calm down in a couple of days, and you'll hear again in a couple of years. That's just how France works. Anyway, so no more politics. We're back on the channel, but thank you. I appreciate it a lot, of course. But really, everything's fine here. This video's title is Thank You, Gazbo. Why? Gazbo has been a follower on this channel for quite some time, probably from the beginning and the very, very early and first videos. And you know, Mike and I, we read comments, and sometimes they inspire us. And on the last video, by the way, all the miniatures I'm going to show are property of the Rochefoucauld Grail project, and I'm using them with authorization, as you know now. And on that last video, about introducing the high definition version of that voyage, that journey painting from Rochefoucauld Grail, Gazbo wrote this. And Gazbo has got the feeling that there's something about the geometric construction of this picture. So he's referring back to video 49 of mine, where he's been describing, here is his comment on video 49, and it's a pretty long comment, and I don't know why at the time I didn't pay attention. Maybe I was on something else, or work-wise, or whatever it was, and I didn't apply the geometry that Gazbo was suggesting, and I'm sorry. It was a year ago, and I'm one year back on my homework. So I did it, and I wrote to Gazbo some days ago that it was indeed an appealing construction, but it didn't give any further information on Oak Island or the geometry or anything. And I was wrong, because I found out what it was. So let me show you what I found out based on the work that Gazbo suggested in this word. So first, let's follow Gazbo's proposed construction instructions step by step. So he says, I propose that setting the drawing up would need fixed point to create a border. Fair enough. And this I choose to be the center of the small squares. So we're talking about these squares here on the four corners, and let's hit at the very center of it. Actually, aren't they trying to show us what to do to frame it? Maybe that's what it is, and that's what it shows those patterns or drawings. And if you look at and pay attention to the other Rochefoucauld Grail paintings I've been proposing, you see there are different ones. Sometimes it's a cross like this. Sometimes this extends like this with subcrosses. There's like a set of 5 or 6 different patterns, and I wonder if these are talking about the approach, and other patterns talk about the island itself, and I'm not sure, but they are different and they come in series somehow. So I chose to be the center of the small square, and joining up give me a rectangular border, which you see here in yellow. That's the rectangular border from which to work. So that set up our frame. Okay. Joining them give the center of the picture, and let's call it X. Okay, fair enough. So that's my center point right in the middle here. Let's carry on. As previously mentioned in my last post, the guy in red on the left, that guy, is looking at the top right corner. Is looking at the top right corner. It looks like it. And in my last video, I was paying attention to the fact he was looking not at the black shape here at the bottom, but he was looking at what I call the river. But Gazbo suggests is maybe looking at the river, maybe, but if you extend it, it's going further, which I did not see at the time. And the visitor on the right is looking at the top left corner. The visitor on the right, which in my last video I was having him looking at the arcades here for the importance of the step of the journey. Well, actually, if you push it further, it aligns with that corner. So let's do it a bit more scientifically with lines. That's what it gives. Those lines of sight give this dotted pattern. The lines of sight are going through the eyes of those people and the corner, which make 3 points, and by 3 points you definitely have a single line going through. So that's what Gazbo suggests, and it's smart, it makes sense, right? So the next bit is, you almost see it already, is that we're constructing this vertical line here, which passes through those points because those eye sights have got those angles. So that's what you get, and you get the center. I'm slightly offset here. Is it because the way the picture was taken with an angle? Is it because I was not rigorous and straight enough with the way I drew these lines? I'm wrong in my lines, but I think really they intended to meet here. So that's an interesting construction, and the vertical line we just drew hits the right foot here, is right foot of the king. Interesting. So Gazbo gives us more instruction, more set. Some of them I'll be using later, some of them not. So the one I'll be using later, I'm keeping the convention. I'm using yellow lines. And some of them for which I can't find anything yet, but following the instructions on the left, I'll just make it quick. That's what you get at the end, following all the instructions from Gazbo's. And I only found use later with the yellow lines, not the white ones. I'm not sure what the white lines are here for, but they do exist. I must admit the analysis is right, and there's some alignments, such as here. You remember the 155 little mark on the circle? Well, the left or right, I'm not sure, back foot of this person makes the alignment perfectly. I can show you like this with a bit of a zoom. If I move it, you see this part here goes exactly aligning and going through the center of the circle. Let me do it again. There we are. So a couple of more lines and more division of the painting. But what I'm going to use, so this is the full development of the construction setup. And what I'm going to use is only those yellow parts. That's what I found some useful purpose for. And let's see what it gives. This is Oak Island markers. And again, thank you, Michael. This comes from Michael, of course. He's our surveyor, and it would take me 10 years to reach what he does in 3 months. But these are the markers that we know of, especially Nolan Cross. You see the cones E, D, A, B, C, the 429 extension point. We see the oak entrance aligned with La Rampe and cone A. And when we overlay our painting, this is what we get, which is quite impressive, because if you take the central axe, the central line of the painting, the vertical one, and align it on Nolan Cross, you realize that the intersection points of the center of, this is the center, isn't it? This is the center, yeah, it's the center of the painting. So the center of the painting is cone D. And of course you align it with cone A and the extension point, so that's the main arm of, on the backbone of the Northern Cross. What's very interesting is the line of sight. That's what I kept that as dotted lines. The line of sight of those two characters on the painting hit cone A. Definitely. And so this is what the characters are doing. They're looking at cone A when the geometry of the painting registers cone D by its geometry and the 429 extension point. Moreover, the character on the left, for whose face would be here and his eyes would be there, is not only looking at cone A, but also at La Rampe and at the oak entrance. And no, it's not aligned with cone C, because that cone A, Rampe, and oak entrance are aligned, as we demonstrated, but cone C is not. So that's normal, cone C is not there. On the other hand, maybe, I'm not sure, the construction reveals also triangle 2 here, but it could be just a coincidence. I think what's really remarkable is the triple intersection and the triple intersection with the right measurement on cone D, cone A, and the 429 extension point by the construction of the geometry of the painting, and that reveals here La Hampe and oak and the oak entrance, meaning the angles were carefully chosen on the line of sights of the character to develop this on the island. It's interesting, isn't it? So if you go back to the table, to the painting, this is cone D, this is cone A, where everybody's looking at cone A. Could start a song like this. And the 429 extension point is just here, the top part registered. And I re-overlaid on top where the east-west Ver line would be in this painting. Locating La Hampe would be here, and the oak entrance would be right there. I didn't find a cross second line to cross this dotted line to show exactly where the oak entrance, but what I saw is roughly here. So actually not revealed. You can't say there's anything in there that makes it the oak entrance. I don't see an oak painted there, but La Hampe would be there. And again, it's like a non-revealed place, and you don't need La Hampe because you're not going to access it from the surface. But interesting, it registers cone A beautifully, I'd say. That was a quick video today. That was all I had, and thank you, Gazbo. So you see, when you write comments, maybe sometime it's 1 year later, but it makes sense. And if you wish to comment, feel free, of course. Thank you very much, and be reassured I'm doing safe and sound. Love you all, take care, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.